what you want to do should be established. You don't have to look like those of us sitting at this table to fully participate. Participating in government doesn't mean running for office. It means being a part of the polity, a part of the decision-making process, a part of people who are determining where you live, how you live, what you eat, how you go to school, how your money is spent, who spends it, not worrying about the piece of the pie. But you're going to be on the line that cuts the pie. And when you get to that point, you're in a position to say, I am a part of my government. That's the relevance that young people and all people need to be a part of it. So it's not a matter of saying that we have special issues, special interests for young, for old, for brown, for black. The issues of the American people are the same, disproportionately affected in some quarters, but they're the same. Everyone pretty much wants the same thing. Yes, sir.
As to how to have them stop running the re-election, whatever is re-elected,
immediately going to re-election.
Well, it's not, this isn't just a problem with the President of the United States. It's every politician. I mean, and that's where, again, money puts pressure on the system. Go ahead and start raising the money, getting ready for this election. I'll tell you an interesting thing. When I became governor of Connecticut as an independent, I had to go ahead and govern the state without one single member in the legislature of my party. There were no independent members. They were either Republicans or Democrats. And I had to make a conscious decision right then and there that I wasn't going to go ahead and party build as governor. That if I did that, I'd kill any chance of getting through legislation that we badly needed legislation in the state, specifically income tax. But we got through because we concentrated on the government and not politics. So, you know, this can be done. And in my case, it had to be done, otherwise we would have been at a standstill. But otherwise, you're not going to stop everybody from voting for re-election the day after.
You know, your question has built into it one of the great paradoxes of politics. You would like a president that wouldn't pay attention to the polls. But remember, the polls are the reflection of the will of the people. So that's the paradox of politics. Every once in a while, somebody, when I'm speaking, somebody will stand up in the back of the room and say, when are you politicians going to have the guts to make the hard decisions? And they think they're insulting me when they're insulting us. Because why should the good decisions be hard decisions in the system we have? It is up to us to create a climate in which the good decisions are easy. And the paradox that you have touched on is that we don't stop and think that the problem isn't just the politicians, it's us, it's we. We have to create a climate in which those decisions are easy. And we have to understand, we have to have the courage to understand that sometimes the president has to go against the democratic view of the people. But we, honestly, you may think I'm beating on the press too much, but our minds have been poisoned by a press that doesn't understand the system. They talk about how bad gridlock is, for example. When I went to school, it was called checks and balances, and it was good. And now they've convinced us that the kind of difficulties you have in passing legislation is bad. It isn't. That's the system. And you got to have leadership to work the pieces and come through it, and then get a democratic response out of the public and support what you want. So don't fall for the trap of the paradox of politics. There's nothing wrong with political figures wanting to know what the people want, as long as they have the courage when they think it's not the right thing to do, doing the right thing. But they ought to know what the people want at all times.
But you know, to follow also on what John says, with being us, rather than those of us that run for office, you know, 13 campaigns, I got more than my share. All of you politicians are corrupt. All of you politicians are inept. All of you politicians are sex maniacs, etc. Well, I didn't used to take it. I used to say, that's interesting. This is a representative democracy.
Great. You touched the nerve. think Senator Byrne did a very good job. I'm going to take a couple more questions, and let's remember, we're holding up Senator Clinton and Senator Obama. We're waiting to debate while we finish these questions.
You're getting a service.
Hi, my name is Kyle Gardner, and I'm from Charlottesville, and thank you all for being here today. And my question is just, while there's been two-party system since the beginning of this country, it wasn't included in the Constitution. And I was wondering, do you feel that there will be a rise of the third party in the future as more people are moving towards the state of calling themselves independence? And also, should there be a legitimate third party, not just special interest parties that pop up every now and then?
Yes, I think the answer is clearly yes, because that's what the American people are saying. As a majority of the American people are independent, just as the largest block of voters in my state of Connecticut are independents, not either Republicans or Democrats. So the American people are saying this is what we want. But the only way that it can be achieved at the presidential level, as I said before, is to level the playing field, that's to ballot access on the presidential election.
Good question. One of our outstanding high school students is already enrolled in college courses here at the University of Virginia. Yes, sir.